What's up, guys? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be doing Meowscarada EX. I feel like Meowscarada is finally in a very good spot now that Roaring Moon and Charizard EX are so prevalent, and a lot of the other decks are low HP targets for the most part. So I feel like Meowscarada is actually in a really good spot now, and so what we're going to be looking to do is combo that with Radiant Alakazam, and with Radiant Alakazam, we're going to be able to move the damage counters around that we place on Meowscarada to the appropriate targets that we need. Meowscarada also got really helped out with Earthen Vessel, so that way we're always able to get into the energies that we need in order to use its ability. We also make sure that we run the Evolution TM, because that can really speed up our early game and help us out a lot. That's also something that's really beneficial that added strength to this deck. And then as for supporters, we're just running basic lines. We have 2 bosses, 2 Iono. We run 4 Arven, but that's just to make sure we're able to get into our VIP pass pretty easily. And we also run double Avery. You could switch out the Averys if you like, but I like having them as tech cards into things like Gardevoir. They can be really good versus, and a lot of like the Urshifu style decks and like Iron Valiant decks. It's pretty good into those, so it's good to have. Outside of that, we also run double Lost Vacuum because you want to make sure that you can get past Path to the Peak, since if Path is on the field, you kind of struggle a little bit, and it can make things a little bit more difficult. I also run 2 Mew, and that's because you want to be able to get into it as early as possible. Like, you want to make sure that you're getting into it on turn 1 and being able to utilize it. But you could cut one and add in like a Jirachi to protect yourself in the Lost Zone matchups a little bit better. But that's kind of more for preference. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the deck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you would run it and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the game. Peace. Alright, we're into the game. Our opponent's going to be going first. Alright, we open up Bidoof, a Switch, Artazon, and a Nest Ball. So honestly, not too bad. We're up against Gardevoir. We'll see what we're able to pull off our Heavy Ball. What I think we're probably going to end up doing is using... Alright, they played their own Artazon. That works out for us. We'll see. We'll probably grab... What is it? Sprigatito? Is that the name of the stage 1? I can't remember what that thing's called. I think it's like Sprigatito or something. There's our Manaphy. So, perfect. So we got the Mew. So what we can do now is we'll place the Mew down. We'll Nest Ball to thin our deck out. Grab ourselves the Radiant. Then we can Artazon. Use the Artazon to grab ourselves, yeah, Sprigatito. Alright, so then we can go ahead, hit the switch, go grab ourselves Mew into the active, Mysterious Tail, and I think we're going to want the Ultra Ball here. So that way we have the ability to go... Yeah, I think that's going to be the play. So we'll have the ability that we can Ultra Ball and grab ourselves Bidoof if we want to, getting rid of like the Artazon and Manaphy. If that's the route we want to go, grab ourselves Bidoof, draw new cards. We have the Rare Candy in hand, so we can put in our Meowscarada into the active. We'll still need a double colorless in order to attack with, but that's not too bad. And this is a situation where the Mimikyu isn't really going to matter as much because we can always drop damage counters onto it with Meowscaradas and just put enough damage to knock it out that way. So that's probably going to be our plan, to work around that. They use the Arven. Ooh, grab themselves a Luxurious Cape. I like Luxurious Cape in the deck. I think it's pretty good. Personally, I don't love giving up 2 prize cards on with Gardevoir, since being able to just use single prizers often is kind of like the biggest advantage this deck gets. So personally, I like the Luxurious Cape, but I think personally running like the Energy Capsule for Screamtail is fine. More so than putting Luxurious Cape onto Gardevoir. But it definitely has its uses. Alright, so there's the double. There's the booster energy. We can go ahead and Artazon, thin our deck out a little bit more, grab ourselves a new Sprigatito. So that way that's prepared. Then we'll Mysterious Tail now, see what we're able to grab. We got ourselves... yeah, we'll grab ourselves the other Ultra Ball. So we can Ultra Ball. We'll get rid of the Artazon and the Manaphy. Grab ourselves the Bibarel. Then what we can do is we'll Bibarel, grab ourselves new cards. I would prefer not to have to discard this many energy so early, but we'll super odd them back in later or something. Alright, so now we can go Meowscarada. Our attack is ready. And we're just going to go ahead and put some damage counters down. And we'll drop 30 damage onto the Mimikyu. Get that dealt with. We'll end our turn there. And then next turn we can Bibarel and kind of go from there. We'll be able to hit for 220. So we can actually just knock out the Gardevoir on our next turn. Or sorry, we'll hit for 200. And so we'll have to take a little bit of time with Radiant Alakazam and move some damage counters onto Gardevoir. If they don't put any damage onto themselves with Gardevoir EX. But it's not too bad. Since, like I said, we can just drop... If we're able to make one more Meowscarada, that'd be super hype, because then we take the prize card for Mimikyu. We can take the... we can take the knockout here, pretty much take 3 in one turn, and rock out from there. So we're really not in too bad of a position. We just gotta super rod some of these energies back in later on. I also don't agree with evolving that Gardevoir yet. I feel like I would have left that. Just be able to draw off the Kirlia for a little bit. Get some more energies in your discard pile. Alright, they're going to go ahead and Artazon. They either don't have... What is this? One... They use one Rare Candy, right? Yeah, I think they only used one. There's 2 in the discard, but I think they just discarded that one. Alright, so we can put this into the active. Cool. So Earthen Vessel will work out for us. We'll Bibarel here. We'll place one more Sprig. We'll Earthen Vessel the other one away. Get ourselves 2 cards. Then we'll Avery here just for some extra cards. Perfect. We're left with a choice. We could go ahead and use the Lost Vacuum and remove the Luxurious Cape and then just take the knockout. And I kind of think that's what we're going to end up doing. So we'll get rid of the VIP. It would have been nice to take 2 prizes this way. But it's better to... It's kind of better just to, like, weaken this and deal with it that way than... to kind of, like, sit around. Because if we end up just, like... If we end up just sitting on it, it's not really going to do anything for us. We'll Painful Spoons here. We'll take just 10 damage and call that a day. We'll do the 200 damage, and we'll hold on for now. Yeah, so we'll Scratching Nails, knock that out. And then what we can do on our next turn, we have the Arven to grab ourselves something if we really need to. What we'll probably do is if we get completely blocked by Mimikyu, then what we'll do is that we'll just Arven for an Escape Rope, switch, manually attach a Sprigatito, retreat, and go for that. Otherwise, what we can do is, depending on how much damage they put on their Gardevoir, they could Reversal Energy and then attach 3 and look for a knockout that way. And if they end up doing that, then what we'll probably do is just like Arven, look for an Ultra Ball, get rid of some cards, and make a new Meowscarada. Then just attack into the active. So we have plenty of plans. We got things we can do. You know, this is an extra prize card at any time. Actually, they can't... Oh, that works out for us. I was about to say, they actually can't Reversal Energy because we're even on prize cards. Alright, cool. So we got Double Turbo. And we can just manually evolve into What is this? Floragato? The names for these suck. Not a fan. But we can place the Double Turbo down, place that. If we'd like to, we can start looking for a play onto Gardevoir EX with the boss. You know, Gardevoir is going to put a damage onto itself, make it a little bit easier for us to knock out. So that's good. I don't think we're at threat of getting knocked out. I'm pretty positive we can't. I think the highest they can do without a Luxurious Cape or something like that to stack extra damage on is like 260. Alright, cool. There's another boss's orders. We'll place this down. We'll attach the Double Turbo. We'll place this down just to get it out of our hand. We'll thin our deck out a little bit with the Artazon. We'll grab ourselves one more Bidoof just in case they like boss up Bibarel later on. But really we're just looking to thin our hand out. Sizers. Got ourselves nothing really that great. It would have been nice to be able to discard one of the energy so I could start putting damage onto Gardevoir EX. But it's not that big a deal. We're going to be able to Painful Spoons, knock out the Mimikyu. We'll Heavy Ball just to get it out of our hand and see what else we're missing out on. Nothing much. Yeah, we'll just Scratching Nails. Take the knockout here. Take an extra prize. So, Reversal Energy is turned on. Which, you know, I don't love, but we're not really at risk of anything like that. They can put enough damage counters on themselves to knock us out. With Miracle Force is the name of that attack, right? Yeah, Miracle Force. But it really doesn't matter because we already have, you know, a Meowscarada ready to be made. They will put damage counters on themselves, so then we just knock them out after the fact anyway. Potentially. Okay, so they did... yeah, I was gonna say, they could have just, like, passed their turn, I guess. I think they don't know that Reversal Energy doesn't work there. So yeah, now they have to put enough damage on them that we'll be able to knock them out after the fact. Reverse Miracle Force. We'll put in our new one. We'll drop the double turbo onto that. Go ahead and Arven here. Grab ourselves an Ultra Ball. And we'll actually leave that, just so that way we can thin our hand out a little bit. We'll get rid of one of the bosses. We don't really need it. Grab ourselves a Meowscarada. Evolve into the active. And we'll go ahead and Industrial Incisors for a couple more cards. We'll evolve our Bibarel. We'll use the Nest Ball just to get it out of our hand. Keep our hand low for now. We'll Bibarel again. See if we can find something useful. But there's not really much we like actually need or can do. So we'll go ahead, hit the Scratching Nails. We're short 50 damage, which, you know, kind of sucks, but we're not in a position that we can really get knocked out. What we can always do, or the main play that we're really looking for on our next turn, is that we can Arven, get ourselves another Ultra Ball, discard the boss and the Artazon, make ourselves a new Meowscarada, drop energies down, and just take knockouts that way, using Meowscarada's ability. Or, you know, if we want to be really, really simplistic, we could always just re-boss this back up and knock it out if they retreated or something. So this game's pretty much over. They're not really going to be in a position to do much else from here. But we'll make the correct plays just to, you know, that way we don't end up throwing a game we don't need to. They're going to place a Ralts down. Yeah, so we're going to look to make a second Meowscarada and just ping the Ralts off the bench, and just take all the prize cards on the next turn that way. We just need to get into our remaining energies. So there's Lost Vacuum, Artazon here. Let's see, because we can just grab Earthen Vessel if there's enough grass energies. Yeah, there are. Alright, so that'll work. We'll Earthen Vessel here. Earthen Vessel, we'll use the Artazon. We'll discard the Artazon, sorry. Grab the energies. Use Meowscarada. Discard one, put the 30 damage down. Then what we can do is, yeah, we'll Vessel away, or we'll Vacuum away the Arven, just to give ourselves a little bit more space. We'll Bibarel here, looking for our last Meowscarada. We don't find it, which is a little bit unfortunate. But what we can do is we'll just Painful Spoons, take some of the damage off of this, throw it onto our Ralts. I guess what we could have done is gotten the Ultra Ball, guaranteed that, and looked for energies off the Bibarel or something. But it's really not going to make much of a difference at the end of the day. So we'll grab our two prize cards. So there's another double turbo. There's the Ultra Ball to guarantee our last Meowscarada. And Arven if we, like, really, really needed it in order to grab ourselves, you know, Super Rod or something. But we don't need it, so it doesn't matter. What does this do? Oh. That's annoying. I mean, again, it's not really going to make a difference. We'll Rod here, just to shuffle in some energies, and another Meowscarada. Really, all we're going to do is just retreat and attack. So we don't need this anymore, we don't need this anymore. Grab that. I'm surprised they didn't concede, but, like, you know, it is what it is. I guess they're trying to play for the long game. I'm curious now, actually. Does this stop me from attacking with the Pokemon as a whole, or just the one in the active? Okay, no, it's just the one in the active. I assumed, but I wanted to make sure. You know, we'll draw just to do it. Lay down the double turbo. And scratching nails. So that's going to be game one. Pretty easy performance, honestly. Meowscarada has just so many options. And the matchup into Gardevoir is actually pretty good because they're with your high hit point total, it's really hard for them to knock you out in a single attack. And then since they have to damage themselves in order to do it, it makes your kind of counter KO situation like super good. They have a lot of low HP targets, so if you're able to get multiple Meowscaradas out, you can just start pinging off the Rolts and the Curlias and all that kind of stuff that they have to try to make. So it works out really well. But yeah, that's game one, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right, we're into the next game, and we're going to be going second. We open up Arven, which is pretty good. We can just put our Sprig into the active. We'll put Bidoof there. We'll be able to... probably what we'll do is we'll just attach the Grass Energy to Sprig, retreat out, and drop our Mew. Oh. Interesting. What is this? I mean... I know it's the Togepi from a... Huh? Well, I'm confused. Alright, we'll grab ourselves our second Sprig. Looks like their hand is just absolutely terrible. So, I mean, that's good for us. It means that we don't actually have to worry too much. We'll drop that down, grab ourselves Mew and Radiant. Is going to be the play. I think I just want to use Evolution here. Normally I would go into Mew, but with the fact that they did nothing, I feel like it's better to just Evolution, make sure we get Meowscarada in on the next turn, draw some cards with Arven and, you know, Bibarel, and kind of pop off. I feel like that's just better in this situation. So their hand must have been terrible, but they just top-decked Miraidon, and they're going to try to make something work. But I mean, that works out for me. I'm going to be able to Avery on the next turn. They went double Mareep. I don't know if that's good. Kind of feel like it isn't. One of the advantages that Meowscarada has, though, against Miraidon, and obviously this is a weird example because normally they're, you know, popping off a little bit, you know, a bit stronger on their turn one. This turn two is fine, though. One of the things that is really good, we'll place the other Sprig down. There's really no reason not to. We'll evolve here. We'll draw... Yeah, we'll draw 3. There's the other energy. We can Earthen Vessel. Get rid of the Manaphy. We're not going to need it. Grab ourselves 2 more energy. That way, if we are able to find a Rare Candy here... Unfortunately not. If we were able to find a Rare Candy there, that would have been super hard. So that way we could have... evolved into Sprig, attached manually. I mean, I guess getting rid of the other Miraidon's fine. We're not going to be able to draw on our next turn. So I think what we have to do here is we're going to put energy down onto Sprig. Or, sorry, into Meowscarada. Then we're going to Bouquet. And we're going to put that down onto Yeah, that's going to be the play. So we're going to put that down onto Miraidon. Then take 10 off. Put it onto Raikou. And we'll retreat out. Go into our Mew. We'll tail. Grab ourselves the escape rope. And end our turn. That way our Sprig stays alive. If they knock out our Mew, it's not a big deal. We just go into Meowscarada, take the knockout back, look to boss up the Miraidon on the next turn. But one of the things that I'm hoping to be able to show here is the fact that, like, Miraidon doesn't really have a way to stop you, since you're able to, even with double colorless on, you're only hitting for 200 damage, but it doesn't really matter, because as long as you're able to put a damage counter anywhere on these things, being able to move it around with Radiant Alakazam makes it super easy that you can just take the prize, like, you can just trade one, you know, it takes 2 attacks for them to knock you out pretty much anytime ever, outside of Raichu, which most decks are only running 1 of, so as long as you deal with that, you're in a really, really good position. And it takes a lot of resources for them to be able to knock you out with Raichu. But everything else, it's like a 2-hit KO at best. And you're one-shotting everything else, so you just win the prize race without really much effort. So, like I said, Meowscarada has a super, super, super good matchup right now in the meta. And it's kind of its time to shine, now more than ever. So we'll see what they choose to do. They could retreat their Raikou. Go into like a Flaffy or something. Just to kind of sack that, give themselves a chance to set up. But seems like they're just gonna go ahead, knock out the Mew. I don't know. I don't really think that's the best choice. Alright, so we'll put the energy down onto Meowscarada. We, you know, preferably would like the ability to... we'll set up one more. I would, you know, preferably like the idea of having energy and setting that up, but it's kind of for the best. We'll go ahead and just grab the Ultra Ball here. Or, sorry, we'll grab the Rare Candy. Make a new one. Make a new cat. Drop that down. Industrial Incisors. See if we can get an energy or something. Unfortunately, we don't. But it's fine. We'll just go ahead and scratch. Knock out the Raikou. Take our 2 prizes. And from there, like... Oh, perfect. Earthen Vessel. From there, we're kind of, like, the game's over. Because they put this into the active. They can't knock us out. It's already got damage on it, so we knock it out. We'll Earthen Vessel, find some energy, put it onto the next Miraidon, you know, boss that up if they try to retreat it, or whatever. If they, you know, put it into the active without any damage counters on it, we already put 2 down onto this Miraidon, so we can just Radiant Alakazam, 2 over, and, you know, knock it out totally fine. And, like, that's kind of the issue right now with Miraidon in general, is with its low health pool, like 220, like same thing with like PAL and stuff, only being 220 is really, really not good at the moment. Charizard just completely one-shots you after like any prize card is taken, or, you know, a lot of them are just playing around it now. Then you run into something like even Roaring Moon. It has no problem, just Calamity Storm knocks you out. Pretty much everything in the, you know, everything in the game just can one-shot you back without too much issue. So yeah, to show our point, we'll go Earthen Vessel here, get rid of the VIP Pass. Grab the last 2 energies. We can always Super Rod them back in later. We'll Meowscarada. We'll drop, you know, 30 damage onto this one. Doesn't really matter. The whole point is that it just has energy or damage on it, so that way we can Painful Spoons, move 20 damage over. And now even if we were, yeah, they're just going to go ahead and concede. Even if we need it like a boss's orders or something like that, or sorry, not a boss's orders. Even if we were like double colorless energies there, it wouldn't have mattered since we would have dealt the 200 damage anyway. So we're in a perfect position, and we were just going to be able to boss up on the next turn regardless of what they did. We had another Meowscarada in the back, so we were fine. But yeah, so that's going to be the game, guys. Definitely let me know what you thought of the deck. Let me know any changes that you would make. I think Meowscarada is in an amazing place right now. I think it's really, really strong, and I think it's still going to be really good after rotation, which is pretty important since rotation's only a couple months away. I think like 2 months away or something like that. So I think like this deck is going to be really, really powerful. Chien-Pao I think is going to be really good after the rotation, but yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely let me know what you guys think is going to be strong post rotation and what you think some of the best decks are going to be. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.